Hi everybody, I'm Jordan Rolfus from Beagle Rampant Productions.
And I'm Selena Rolfus.
And today we are going to be unboxing the Japanese version of one of these things. We're going to be unboxing the PC Engine, which is the Japanese flavor of the TurboGrafx. Now, you know a little bit about this TurboGrafx, right?
Yeah, I know that's where you can play Alien Crush.
Yes, we don't have Alien Crush. We have a racing game in there now, Victory Run. But do you remember anything about this TurboGrafx machine in particular?
I'm trying to think. Didn't they have an odd ad campaign with someone called Johnny Turbo or something?
Oh yes, and you guys will be hearing a lot about Johnny Turbo in a little bit, but no, this was the TurboGrafx you bought me for my 24th birthday.
Yes!
Yeah, there's this arcade in Cincinnati called Arcade Legacy, and you can buy all sorts of retro video games and whatever, and Squeaky here went ahead and bought me a TurboGrafx for like $75 at Arcade Legacy. I just turned 24 and that was a rough year. We recently had to put our little beagle to sleep, so that was sad. And yeah, so Squeaky did this nice act and, yeah, thank you for the TurboGrafx thing
no problem.
here. Yeah, it's obviously a video game console really can't help you get through something like that, but it's like you know how your mind like associates things, and like me getting this TurboGrafx, I'm going to associate with that season. But the problem is, this didn't really sell too well in the United States, and a lot of the games for the TurboGrafx are actually PC Engine games. So if you were really technical, like really uber technical, you could mod this to get it to play the Japanese PC Engine games, but it's a very delicate operation to do that sort of thing, and you run the very real risk of damaging this system irreparably. So this is a birthday gift from Squeaky for a pretty difficult year, and well, this year's been difficult too, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, there's a lot of sentimentality for me. This sort of represents a lot of Squeaky's generosity here.
Aww.
So I don't have the heart to like destroy this and irreparably ruin it, so we are going to go ahead and unbox an NEC PC Engine right now. Alrighty, Squeaky. So, it's like I woke her up. Maybe I woke you guys up too. Let me know down in the comment section below if I woke you up or if you're still asleep by the end of this video. But, Squeak-Doo, how much do you know... I'll put the scissors down. That's probably pretty...
Yeah, no good flailing those around.
Yeah, that probably won't be any good. So, how much do you know about the company NEC?
Not a whole lot, actually.
Okay, well, the story of NEC is actually a really fascinating one. NEC was the first Japanese joint venture with foreign capital. They had a joint venture with Western Electric back in the late 1800s, Western Electric being the major supplier for Alexander Graham Bell and his company AT&T. And so there was this union between NEC and Western Electric, and it was really quite groundbreaking, and they saw a lot of promise in Japan's electronic industry. And they were doing quite well throughout much of the late 19th and early 20th century. They made a lot of things for Japan for World War I. Now, a lot of people maybe don't realize this as much as they probably should, but Japan was on the Allied side during World War I. They were on the side with Great Britain, the United States, and the conquered country of France. So, yeah, Japan was one of the Allied powers working against the Central Powers of Austria, Germany, and the Ottoman Empire. But with the disastrous Treaty of Versailles, of course, and Japan basically getting screwed out of everything they had fought for in World War I, they would ultimately become one of the Axis members in World War II. They would find Hitler's ideas of the war machine and Mussolini's fascism really quite appealing. But in between that time, during the 1920s, NEC was thriving, and they were really embracing the modern developments of technology and communication. But when World War II actually happened, that was a pretty bad time for NEC, because going with the Axis mentality of government takeovers and stifling industry, and basically the Japanese war machine basically told NEC, you will be producing things for our cause, and you will not be doing anything else. So, yeah, that was a very dark time for the company, and they really couldn't do things that they loved to do. They had to do wartime goods, and that just never really suited them all that well. But after the 1940s, after World War II, NEC was back to their former glory, and they were producing quite a few different electronic things, telephones, cameras, televisions, radios, all sorts of really cool things coming from NEC. NEC standing for Nippon Electric Company, the Japan Electric Company. And then in the 1980s, 1987, oh, I should mention, in 1986, a year before, because that's how numbers are, 86 comes before 87 there, but in 1986, Western Electric actually went out of business in the United States. Now, I don't know when, like, the joint venture between NEC and Western Electric actually ended. I could not find an actual date for that. If anybody knows, pop that down in the comment section down below there. That would really be helpful. I think it probably would have ended during World War II. I mean, that would make the most sense to me, you know. Japanese government takes over, and then obviously you can't be working with the enemy.
Right.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too good. But 1987, NEC goes ahead and releases the PC Engine in Japan, and initially the PC Engine sold beautifully in Japan. It was the hot ticket item. It actually beat out sales of the Nintendo Famicom. So
that's crazy. I just can't even imagine that.
I know, yeah, for something that's basically unheard of in the States, you know, nobody knows what a TurboGrafx is, and nobody's heard of the PC Engine over here. Yeah, it actually beat Nintendo's main console. So that goes to show, and that's why I wanted to get one, because I wanted to play a lot of these games, and, you know, I didn't want to mod this one because, yeah, Squeaky bought this for my birthday at a pretty rough time, you know, so, yeah, I kind of needed a little boost or something. Like I said, it doesn't get you through the tough times,
sometimes
but
it's nice to have a diversion or a comfort during bad times.
Yes, it is good to really sort of distract yourself and just, you know, escape a little bit, and it was really good of Squeaky to do this for me for my 24th birthday. So, obviously, NEC has this really successful console. Another interesting thing, Hudson Soft, the developers of Bomberman and Bonk and all sorts of things, they would later go on to make Mario Party and the first Smash Brothers game. They wanted to make their own console as well, but they didn't have the financial backing in order to do that. So NEC offered them that financial leverage to get their vision of the console up and running there, and that's basically what we see a lot of the time here. Is a lot of these games are Hudson Soft characters. Of course, the obvious downside with that is eventually a game developer could be like, you know, we could go ahead and export our things over to the NES and Famicom, which they would ultimately do with Bonk, but Bonk was a mascot for the PC Engine, his Japanese name actually being a play of words on PC Engine. But yeah, NEC, Hudson Soft, they team up, they release this console, it sells beautifully in Japan as the PC Engine. Then in 1989, the console is released in the United States, and
the same year you were.
yeah, same year I was, 1989. Good times. That's the year to be. Yes, wow. And I'll leave it to you guys to determine if that makes me old or young. But I remember the 80s, and I do remember the 80s. But more on that in a little bit. Oh, sounds like a truck's pulling out that side. Hi, truck. You want to help us talk about the PC Engine? So, 1989, the TurboGrafx, as it's known in the United States, is released. It has a big old number 16 on it, and that means it has 16-bit graphics. But pretty much a lot of the other gizzards in here are very much 8-bit.
I find that hard to believe, because when I compare that to like what we've seen on the Super Nintendo, there's no comparison, really.
Exactly. So, it is 16-bit graphics, yes, it certainly is. But it doesn't really hold a candle to, like, the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis. So, in 1989, what does Sega do? They release the Mega Drive in Japan and the Genesis over here in the United States. So, yeah, this old guy, he doesn't get pretty much any discussion here in the US, and elsewhere in Europe it's really only released in France. A French distributor goes ahead and supports their own version of it that uses CCAM, which is the French television standard. It stands for System Essentially Contrary to the American Method. It doesn't really stand for that, but it's not compatible with anything. Ooh, we got an airplane going on? My goodness, I'd love to travel. I wonder if that airplane's going to take me somewhere fun. Probably not without a ticket.
Yeah, not today.
Yeah, not today, or without a ticket or anything. Is anyone still watching this video? So, 1989, it's released in the West, and people maybe don't care as much as they probably could. Now, in the early 1990s, you guys may have noticed this weird-looking thing here, and there's a cover for it. I'm not going to put the cover fully on because it takes me like 20 minutes to get it back off. But this thing here, this expansion port, is for the TurboGrafx CD system. They decided in the early 1990s to go ahead and add a CD add-on. They were the first game console to do this. And
so Sega copied them?
Yes, Sega did indeed copy them, and we'll get a little bit more in that in a little bit here with Johnny Turbo, but yeah, Sega did indeed copy them, and they were the first console to actually use the CD-ROM format ever, in general. So that's pretty impressive. And eventually, they go ahead and, both in the West and in Japan, they release the Turbo Duo, which is a TurboGrafx and a Turbo CD system. And that's where we get everyone's favorite gaming mascot, Johnny Turbo, named after John C. Brandstetter, who was a real-life developer for NEC. And he had his sidekick, Tony Ancono, who is also named after a real-life developer over at NEC. He frequently combats a company known as Feka, F-E-K-A. Yeah, gee. Wow, NEC, you are subtle with your advertising there. And basically, there's one scene where he calls out, "Oh my god, they're not even human," when he discovers that the evil Feka representatives are actually robots. and that they are lying, saying that they were first with their CD add-on, but no, it was NEC. And yeah, it was NEC, okay, but then the question is, you're first, but are you good? I haven't experienced the TurboGrafx CD firsthand, but I've seen video comparisons between that and the Sega CD. Sega CD just absolutely decimates them, I think.
So did Johnny go after Nintendo?
He did. There was a villain named Captain N. I don't remember any of the interesting storylines about that.
Wasn't Captain N an actual thing with Nintendo?
It was an actual thing with Nintendo, so yeah, I don't know how Nintendo was cool with that. Maybe they just realized nobody cared about old Johnny Turbo. And I mean, would you care if Johnny Turbo's saying something at you? I mean, ugh. And like, if I were Mr. Brandstetter, I'd look at that character and I'd be like, so that's what you think of me, huh? Wow, thanks. Gee.
Did Johnny have any games?
I don't know off the top of my head. If somebody knows, pop one down in the comments section. I would love to play a Johnny Turbo game. And one of his big things was, well, you have to buy a Genesis in order to use a Sega CD. But, okay, he's a mascot for the Turbo Duo. This right here, I can't... Where am I going to put a CD on this puppy? Yeah. CDs. Yeah, no, that's not really going to work. So, yeah. And you had to use the Turbo Duo to actually use the CD portion of them. So, in 1994, by that point, yeah, no one cared anymore about the TurboGrafx. And what do you think happened to NEC?
Did they go on to make games for other systems?
They did go on to make games for other systems and everything else under the sun. They do a lot of transoceanic communications. They do a lot of computer monitors. It is hard to walk into a modern office in really any part of the world and not see something from NEC. It really is. I mean, NEC, they are a good stock to watch. Of course, I am not an investing expert, and any advice we give on investment should be used at your own risk, and obviously, why are you going to take investment advice from some random dude who already threw away God only knows how much money on video games? Seriously, do not take investment advice from me, but yeah, if you were looking for a company to invest, NEC would be the one to do. So, now, finally, this Japanese-looking box. Are you ready to see what's in it? The Japanese PC Engine.
Yeah, I don't even know what to expect. When you told me we were unboxing a PC Engine, I thought, is it just going to be like some computer gizzards that I don't know what they are?
Yeah, no, it's an actual thing. There were different variations of the PC Engine in Japan, some using an RF hookup, one using an AV hookup. I believe this one uses an AV hookup. It better use an AV hookup. That was what the eBay description said. And you can't be lying on an eBay description. I brought scissors. Using them like a beast, huh? I am Alpha. I am Johnny Turbo.
That is how Johnny Turbo does it.
It really is, yes. Oh my goodness, is it, like, boxed in here?
Oh, wow.
The eBay description did not mention that. Ooh. So here it... Oh, this sounds like it wants to collapse on me.
Oh yeah, it's only got half the box.
It only...
Just the part that looks pretty.
Just the part that looks pretty, yes. An NEC Core Graphics PC Engine 2. It should, I really hope, have the... Okay, so, yeah. We see AV cables. This is good because Oh, our neighbors are playing some music. We live in that neighborhood where it's like loud, thumping car stereos at blaring volume or whatever. You know, it's irritating, man. It's really irritating, you know. Come on, peeps, get some class about you. So, AV cables. The RF connector would be really weird on this, because to use a Japanese system on an American television set, you need channel 95 or 96. Our RF TVs, and actually I think even our big TV, does not have channel 95 or 96, so I don't know. Nothing we can do. The controller, which has a turbo switch to make it turbo. Oh,
yeah.
Oh wow, this is weirdly sticky.
Oh, I was gonna say let me have a feel, but not if it's sticky.
Power supply, always good to have. And here,
oh, it's so little.
It is so little. Yes, it is the second smallest console to date. Know what the first is?
Is it like that time they reskinned the PlayStation 1 and made it so small?
It's the Nintendo Switch.
Darn it, man.
But not by... Ooh, look at that. It's almost like... Yeah, this is thicker, but yeah. For the longest time, this was the smallest console ever, but then Nintendo released the Switch, and yeah, so now the Switch is the smallest.
That's right. You know, I'm still just so hooked on the Wii U that I just kind of think of that thing as the gamepad, and then like the actual like thing we put it in as the Switch. But no, I gotta correct my thinking.
Yeah, the Switch is the console is the actual like little portable thing.
It took me an embarrassing amount of time to wrap my head around the Switch when we got it. Still working on it.
Yeah, I'm still working on it too. Like, where's my YouTube? I might be waiting a while for that one.
Yeah, we gotta watch Beagle Rampant videos.
You do have to watch Beagle Rampant videos. I think external bus. This would.
Oh, is that supposed to happen?
I hope so. This would be where you would put the CD. I don't even know if the camera's in focus or not. Who knows? Oh, I really hope that was supposed to happen. I broke it.
Oh, there it goes. Oh, no.
A little bit, maybe. They'll figure it out later. Surely they can't make something that would just crash like that. You wouldn't do that to us, would you, Johnny Turbo? And of course, I wanted to play, subscribe. You might be seeing some of this in future videos, so click that subscribe button there. There's a lot of love in my heart with this movie and video game series. So
it was your first memory.
It was my first memory on this world, seeing Batman at the drive-in. So, yeah, definitely make sure you go ahead and click that little subscribe button so you can go ahead and see some Batman games.
Also click the bell to join the notification squad.
Yes, join the notification squad. Also, I'm on Twitter and Instagram, and my handle is Jordan, Jorn, Von Beagle. And of course, follow Squeaky on Instagram. What's your handle?
Luna Dollface 27.
Luna Dollface 27. Go ahead, follow her on Instagram. And of course, like, comment, subscribe to this video, subscribe to my channel, like my video, say good things, make me feel happy. I love all my subscribers. You guys really are the best fans in the entire world, and I really appreciate all of you guys watching and being so excited with all of our stuff. Yeah, pretty good haul. One thing I forgot to mention. If you're a collector, definitely keep your eye out for the actual TurboGrafx jewel cases. They're a little bit different because they have these things in here that are perfectly tailored for the HU cards, the TurboGrafx Media, TurboGrafx PC Engine, whatever you would like to call them. But remember, they're not region-free. You'd have to either mod your system or do what I did. There's plenty of PC engines out there. Just go ahead and buy a PC engine. So, am I forgetting anything? I think I covered everything. The whole story of NEC and all like that. So, I'm Jordan Rolfus from Beagle Rampant Productions.
And I'm Selena Rolfus.
And we have the best fans in the entire world, and we really appreciate you guys watching and hanging out with us today. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Johnny Turbo's our hero.